Council in the City of Jackson to represent Ward 5, Christy May Davis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Bart. Appreciate it.
So you're running to fill a seat. It's a special election.
Yes.
We have someone that was appointed by the City Council last fall.
Mm-hmm.
That person either decided not to run again at the conclusion of the shortened one-year term or didn't get the right paperwork in, whatever, but that leaves essentially a vacancy.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you decide you wanted to fill that vacancy?
I decided sometime in early 23, I decided to get a little more involved, and I started planning a cleanup. I've always heard that saying from Gandhi, be the change you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that I've gotten involved with going to city council meetings and talking with different council members, the more I've decided that this is something, the city is something I'm going to be more involved in, but very specifically in Ward 5, which is where I live.
Tell us about Ward 5, for those who might not even be familiar with what ward they live in.
Okay.
What is Ward 5?
The north boundary is Ganson, the south boundary is Glenwood and Harwood, and then on the west would be West Ave, and then on the east would be Jackson Street.
What would you say the problems of the ward are?
I've had that conversation with many residents, and no matter what part of the ward I talk to, they all say the same three things.
Mm-hmm.
Safety, transparency with city council, and of course everybody's favorite, streets.
Really, transparency. What do people say? That they're not being told the truth, or there's information being hidden?
The transparency seems to mainly come with financial decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You've been going to city council meetings.
Mm-hmm.
You go every week, or every time?
I go as often as I can. I missed a few toward the end of this. I missed a few in the spring last year, but I go as often as I can. I also attend as many of the other boards and commission meetings as I can.
You've been visible at the meetings because you take advantage of citizens' comments.
I do as often as I can, yep.
And it seems like there's a variety of things that you comment on.
Yep.
What are some of those things that you've brought to the council that are your concerns?
My most recent one was just this past week was Reed Manor, which has always been a sore spot, I think, for a lot of, mainly the residents over there. That's been a big concern, and that, just people's safety and comfort and, feeling loved and cared for over at Reed has been a big thing.
Have people, since you've announced your candidacy, have you been hearing from constituents? Are you getting phone calls and emails?
Not a lot of phone calls and emails, but when I'm out talking to people, they're very talkative, asking a lot of questions. They want to know where I stand, what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. But I go to a lot of events downtown, and I talk to a lot of people all the time. So I usually have on my Christy Davis for Ward 5 City Council shirt.
How do people campaign for a city council seat?
You get your signs out. Mine are the pretty purple and green ones. They're all over Ward 5, and you go door knocking. I've got a page on Facebook. I'm doing this. But mainly door knocking and talking to your neighbors and your community.
So transparency, streets, mm-hmm. What can we do? What can you as a council person do? If people ask, well, what are you going to do about my streets, Christy? I'm
going to be totally honest and, of course, transparent in this answer. I do not know. I don't know what the solution is. We all want to get our streets fixed. I hit a pothole this morning on my way to taking my daughter to school, shot my tire and my rim, and it's at the shop. So I would definitely like to see streets get better myself. But I don't know what the solutions are, but I think we need to try to get creative for funding, and I know Jonathan Green has been working hard to dig deep for funding, but I think we all need to dig more.
And that third issue, safety.
Yes.
What, as a council person, can you do to improve either the perception of safety or the residents' comfort?
Okay. Safety-wise, I've had lots of people talk about their streetlights not being in or not working. Last weekend, I drove several streets, took lots of notes on which streetlights are out, which trees need to be trimmed back a little bit. One of the streetlights was literally just shining into branches, and you could barely see it breaking through the branches. I've already talked to DPW quite a bit. They've gotten to know me a little over there, so I've got a whole list of streets for them to work on this next week, and along with meeting with Sheriff Schutte and Chief Hitt, I had spoken with Chief Hitt, it's probably been 20-some years, that they used to have police officers having their own homes, living in different, more troubled neighborhoods. And so I kind of talked to him about that. I said I would love to see that come back. So I don't know if that's a possibility, but I think that would certainly help.
On your website, you talk about the things you've been doing, like going to council and board and commission meetings, but you also went on a ride-along.
I did.
What happened? What was, what'd you get from going on? I think it was a 12-hour police ride-along?
Yes, it was 12 hours on a Saturday night of a holiday weekend. It wasn't nearly as busy as I thought it was going to be, but it was still busy. We had one DUI pullover, so that was interesting to see the stuff they do. Then the individual got taken in, so I got to see all that get processed. I got to see the conditions over at the jail. I got to ask a lot of questions. My officer I rode with was Brendan Tripp, which is fantastic. I went to high school at Vandercook with a bunch of the Tripps, so of course he's a couple years younger, but he was a lot of fun. So we had a little connection there talking about Vandercook, although he went to Western. But I got to talk to all the other officers that were on duty that night and see some of the great things that they do. One of them, they radio each other and talk a lot, which is good. They got to back each other up. But they found a booth where some kids were over on Wisner and Ganson in that empty lot where Family Video used to be. And so they met over there, and they got snow cones. The kids were so excited when they came over, and it was nice to see the serious side, but also the fun community side of the police.
Tell us a little bit about you, your profession, your family, your community involvement.
I work for the hospital, Henry Ford Jackson, inpatient scheduling. I worked for about 20 years over in hematology and oncology, both when it was a private practice and then when we became part of the hospital system. I have an 11-year-old little girl who goes to Trinity Lutheran. Her name is Brooke Rachel. She's a 5th grader. She loves to do the Jackson rec sports. We do soccer, and then she does gymnastics, also staying in our ward for that. She goes to all-around gymnastics, so that's great. My parents live just outside the city, and so does my sister and brother-in-law and both their kids.
All right, and the election is, well, everyone knows it's coming up, but soon people will be able to vote in advance, absentee, and those ballots, I think, will be going out next week.
Yep, 21st they should go out.
So, anything else you want to tell our viewers?
Nope, not really. Any questions that people have, I would love to be able to talk to people. I do have a Facebook page for Ward 5. I started that maybe a year and a half ago, Ward 5 Community Crew, so I would love to be able to connect with people that way. Otherwise, if you want to get to know me and I want to get to know you, the best way is just for us to be able to chat.
All right, well, we appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Running for City Council Representative in Ward 5, Christy May Davis.